Hello, everybody. Am I recording? Oh, I am recording. This is exciting. So last week I did a poll and I asked you what was the things that you wanted most support with as a nutritional therapist. And you came up with stress very high on the list. I myself, you're not alone. I myself have felt days where I felt really anxious and stressed. So I wanted to look for different tools, different methods that we can use to help ourselves feel calm that we might not have actually considered before. So I would like to introduce you to my friend Debbie, who's the busiest lady I know. And amongst all the things that she does, she is a specialist in Bach Flower Remedies. So hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you so much.
And I just wondered, could you tell us a bit about you and how you got involved with the flower remedies?
Absolutely, and thank you again for having me. Hi, everybody. Yes, I started studying Bach Flower Remedies. It must have been 18 years ago now. Well, I've been a qualified practitioner for 18 years, so it probably was about 20 years ago. And at the time, I needed to find a tool to help myself deal with some really heavy stuff, family stuff, which was really beginning to drag me down big time. And, I was a mum and my kids were like, I think they were 7 and 11 at the time. And I just needed to do something to help myself because they needed their mum, to be okay emotionally and physically and whatever. So anyway, I did a lot of studying and I really, really enjoyed it. I started studying it from home and then I went to London to do courses, the second part, and then I finished in Oxford where the beautiful Bach Flower Foundation is and still is there. And it's just a beautiful story. I use them daily. I've used them before I've come on to talk to you. And they're not only helpful to myself, they're helpful to my families and to my friends. And yeah, I love it. Part of me now.
That's great. So for those of us, including me, who aren't exactly sure what they are, could you tell us a bit about what Bach Flower Remedies really are?
Yes, absolutely. Well, let me show you my beautiful box, if you can see them.
Oh, yeah.
So there's my box. Can you see that? Yeah. And the most popular one, if you like, is the rescue remedy. Have you seen the rescue remedy in the shops?
Yeah, very useful for all driving tests. Rescue remedy.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the one that people know more about, the rescue remedy. It's very, very popular. So a little bit about the background of these remedies. There's the rescue remedy, but there's also 38 other flower remedies. So not everybody knows that. So this was all set up, it was the baby of a wonderful man called Dr. Edward Bach. If you know him well, and if you know the remedies, you actually call him Bach, not Bach. But I'll say today, it's Edward Bach. So he was really, really big in the medical profession. He was a doctor at Harley Street. He was a bacteriologist. And he really had a huge following, basically. He was a very quiet man. He just wanted to get on with his work. He wanted to be with his patients. And then he wanted to just carry on his normal day life. He was just a very simple, lovely man. But he got fed up working in London and not really having time to actually properly understand what the patients actually needed. So he was really into people's personalities. He wanted to know more about how they actually worked inside, not out, or outside. He wanted to know more than inside. It's really weird because he really felt, and it's so true, this is like going back to the 1920s, 1930s.
Yeah.
He really felt that you've got to be your true self. And when you're your true self, you are at your happiest and at your healthiest. Yeah. So he really felt like, with the guts, as you know, Lisa, with all your nutrition, that if your gut is not healthy, you are not healthy inside, physically and emotionally. So he actually left Harley Street and he did his own thing. And he found these amazing remedies, these flowers. They're all flowers, and some of them are made from tree bark as well. And he would just walk around the countryside. He would use his intuition an awful lot. And he knew that there was something out there that would still work in hands with the medical profession. And that's what the Bach Flower Remedies are. And just talking about this is making me feel all goosey inside, because it's just so amazing. I mean, you know, in the 1920s, 30s to do this.
Yeah. It's so forward thinking.
And those remedies have not been changed. So now, I mean, he started and he just did, like, he made 7 remedies, but now, you know, as I said, the whole thing is 38, and the recipe has not been changed right from day one. So they used to say, like, even, you know, a long time ago, when there was other illnesses going around and other viruses or whatever, it doesn't matter about what the illness is, it's treating the person. And the people are all going to act very differently to all different ailments.
Absolutely. And that's very much what I also do with nutrition. It's not like you have an ailment, there's a set recipe. You're actually looking at the whole person and treating them as a whole. So it does tie in very much with what I'm doing.
100%.
And so then
going with your intuition, you know, talking and finding and really getting to the nitty-gritty is, how are you feeling? You know, what is going on? You know, and it's like getting through those layers and talking about it.
So do you mix, like, for example, if I came to see you and I was suffering with, I don't know, stress, not sleeping, would do you mix them together to make somebody their own
personalised remedy?
Yeah,
absolutely. So you can go easily to Boots a Chemist or a health food shop, and they're normally, health food shops particularly, you know, they normally have got really helpful assistants who know a lot about the Bach Flower Remedies, or if they don't know a lot about it, they will give you a leaflet, so you can go away with a leaflet, which I'm happy to put on your post.
Oh, thank you, that's really kind.
Which is lovely. But sometimes, you know, things are a little bit more complicated. So if you just weren't sleeping very well, I would say olive. You know, olive is your remedy for helping you sort of get back to a little sleeping pattern again. But maybe your sleep is a real deep-rooted problem. So you've got to get then back to the nitty-gritty of what was going on, what happens when you first started not sleeping well. You know, sleep, you know, at the moment, who knows? I don't think there's many people who are having an absolute brilliant night's sleep. No. So we've got to be real here, you know. But sometimes what I'm trying to say is, you know, fear, panic, stress, depression, anxiety, you know, you might have changed jobs, you might be really worried for the future. And sometimes we have got to deal with this before we get really bogged down with it. Because when we get bogged down with it, then you're going to make yourself really ill. So the idea about flower remedies is to sort of try and keep yourself in balance and in harmony. And then if you do need more than one flower remedy, for example, you'll come to somebody like myself, a Bach Flower practitioner, and we will have like an hour, 45-minute hour consultation. And it's a bit like a detective. We are really getting to the nitty-gritty of what is going on. Now, to say everybody has got a story, everyone, and I think it's it's about owning your story and what is going on. And we've got choices, haven't we? We can either carry on being stubborn, sticking with the same thing, or we can actually do something a bit more about it. So you would leave me hopefully feeling uplifted and a bit more refreshed as well, offloading. And I would make you your flower remedy. So you can have up to 7 flower remedies, maybe 6 is probably the best. but you want to make those flower remedy choices absolutely exact.
Yeah.
Because although it's, you know, these are so gentle, even babies can have them. So if you had like 6 out of 7, for example, flower remedies, and just 2 of them weren't really the exact ones that you needed, it's not going to make a huge difference, but maybe it's not going to get to the picture as clear as you'd like. It's like a muddy puddle.
Not going to support you as much as as you need. Maybe.
Yeah, and we want that clear crystal puddle. Yeah, we want that clear picture. So we will talk about what I would suggest, and then you might sort of say, well, not sure, or yes, and like, oh my gosh, that is so true.
Yeah.
So that's what we do, and we fill this up with spring water, fresh spring water, a little drop of brandy, because we need to keep them sort of nice and fresh.
Yeah.
If you don't like brandy, if you don't care to do that, we can put apple cider vinegar in. It's a little bit tart, but it still does the job. And then you will put your remedies in. And then what you do, you take 4 drops 4 times a day. So the most important is in the morning, 4 drops in the morning when you wake up, 4 drops at night time, and twice in between the day. So I shall show you with mine. There you go. It really doesn't taste of anything. It just tastes quite watery, actually. So there you go. That's my Bach Flower Remedy. And I treat it like my friend. Yeah. This is my support mechanism, you know. I make them up for quite a few people. Yeah. And yeah.
Really interesting. Thank you. So, so you mentioned that if we just wanted to go to Boots or our local health food shop, you would suggest olive to help us sleep, and it is such an anxious time. Is there one specifically?
Yeah, I would say probably at the moment for a lot of people would be the white chestnut. Got a little bottle of this one. The white chestnut is for when you have got really worrying thoughts going on. So it's a bit like a hamster going round and round and round in the cage. Okay. And it just calms you down quite a bit when you take a few drops of it. So if you just needed this one, you would just put 2 drops in a glass of water and just drink it slowly.
And how many times a day would you do that? Is that 4 as well?
It depends on how you feel that you need it. So if you're drinking that quite slowly and you might need it again in a couple of hours, that's fine. You know, you can't overdose on it. Okay. So some people think, because rescue remedy is really good for plane journeys, for example. So people think, right, they're going to knock this bottle right back, which is rubbish, because all you need of rescue remedy is 4 drops, because you've got more than 1 remedy in here already. So what I'm trying to say is just a few drops on your tongue is just as good as putting that in your water.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Debbie, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. That is just so interesting.
Oh, my
so I do know that you have a video of how to make your own hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Is it possible that you could share that with me, and I'll post that as well?
Absolutely, I'll be delighted.
Thank you. That is really kind, because you cannot buy it for love nor money. So I know everybody will find that really, really useful. Yeah. So finally, I just want to know where people can learn more about you, and if they wanted to get in touch, how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, I have got a YouTube channel, so you can find me if you put time out number 4 me. So it's time out for me, and you'll find me there. And there's quite a few little Bach Flower Remedies videos and essential oils and a few workshops and some parenting stuff that I do. So it'd be lovely to see you there. And if you fancy putting a little message there, that'll be great too. So yes. And
I'll post that underneath as well. And is it okay? I've got your email, to put your email address as well. In case
sure. Absolutely, and I've got a few Facebook groups that are wellbeing groups, and if anybody wants to join those, they're very, very welcome to as well.
Oh, thank you, Debbie, so much. It's been really great talking to you. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, it's been really interesting, and I think I'm going to be going out to Boots to get my Bach Flower Remedy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. And I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.